What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Bricks and Toys. And in today's episode, we're going to be putting a pretty little bow on what is the Death Star saga. After this video, the Death Star will be nothing more than just a mention in future videos. No more content about the Death Star. I feel like we keep making content, but it is a gigantic set, and it's just a lot to discuss. And every opportunity that I get to make a video about it, well, I just feel like it just shares a little bit more light in its entirety. In today's video, we're going to be going over the GWP that came with the set. This is the Hostage GWP. This is the FOMO, not fear of missing out because of your friends, but fear of missing out because, well, you may not get a product set. This is the 40771 TIE Fighter with Imperial Hangar rack. And this is the reason that a lot of people probably bought the Death Star on day one, because they didn't want to be held to go to eBay to pay $140 for this set if they bought their Death Star after the fact. So we're going to be talking about this GWP. We're going to go over the box. We're going to build the stuff. I already know it's not the greatest GWP. A lot of people, they don't like it. And, you know, everything with this Death Star is just like a political election in the last 8 years. It's just almost 50-50. It's like 49-51. And I haven't decided what side is what. I don't know if 51% is the side for it and 49 is against, or if it's 49 for it and 51 against. I have been going over the comment section with you guys since my last video a few days ago, where we did a full review on the Death Star, and people are going far as saying if anybody supports this set, they need to be left behind. I don't know why you would want to disregard a human life because of a Lego set, but okay. Here in America, just that kind of mentality really sucks. The if you're not for, then I'm against you type mentality. I don't get it. Political, you know, it's been that way for years, but on a product in retail, it's just kind of like, okie dokie. So before we get into this, I want to go back and I want to recap some things. I think I took down maybe 3 pointers from after the fact of wrapping up that video that maybe I kind of missed. And the thing that keeps coming up with that set is the minifigures. How could you spend $1,000 on a set with mid minifigures? And hell, I'll throw in the second thing, the stickers. And then between the minifigures and the stickers, people call it a scam. And that leads into the fourth thing. Lego says it's because of their limitations. So these are 4 points I want to discuss before we get into this GWP today. I clearly missed this in my last video. So Lego has blatantly said the minifigures are mid, the stickers are there because they have limitations on what they can do. I don't understand why Lego would have limitations when they are the biggest block building company in the world. And yet, smaller companies out of China, Mattel with the brick shop cars we just did recently, those all have printed parts, and the stickers are to accessorize the cars. So smaller companies can do more, but yet bigger company like Lego does less. Again, like I said, going way back into those videos, that's just like Apple versus everyone else. Apple taking away the headphone jack so people can buy wireless headphones. And you pay more and you get less. You know, cell phones are still over $1,000 from Apple or anybody, but yet they contain no more headphones in the box. They don't contain a cord. They don't contain a charging brick. Why do big companies keep taking things away and yet charging more money? I don't think it's right to really target Lego with the Death Star with this ideology because everyone's doing it. And just to say Lego is a scam because of it is just kind of like, Well, then the cell phone in your pocket is a scam. And the list goes on and on of things that we can equate that to. But what is annoying is the minifigure situation. I will say that straight up. The minifigures are so mid. I'll reach over here and just pull this out. This is the X-Wing from 2018, and here is one of the X-Wing pilots. You pull off the helmet's got print all the way around, and it's got a dual molded visor. Of course, the minifigure has two faces, back torso print, front leg print, front torso print. You guys get the point. What gets me here is this is a 7-year-old X-Wing playset with a dual molded visor in the helmet. When I got this set and I saw that, I was like, wow. This minifigure alone has more detail and more care put into it than any minifigure in the entire Death Star. And sadly, that goes for other things. Like you go over here to the UCS land speeder with our C-3PO. And here we have the dual molded leg. Side arm print, back torso print, side leg print. This is a display minifigure. It serves no purpose, and yet it's got dual molded legs, side prints on the legs. This minifigure has as much detail as a CMF minifigure does. Yet, that cannot be done for the UCS Death Star. And these are just some of the points. And yes, I know, looking at this, R2-D2 does not have back print in 2018. We already knew that. But the thing is, it's not just with Star Wars. It's with Harry Potter too. When I build a CMF lineup of minifigures like the Spider-Man ones or the ones we got before that, I'm amazed at what they can do with minifigures. With the disabilities molded in, the dual molded legs, all the prints. Why can't we not get that with a set that's $1,000? I agree with you guys 150% on the minifigures. Let's put this to bed right now and just call it total BS on Lego's part for doing what they did with the minifigures. I agree with you guys. I do see guides online to buy keychains and stuff and take the legs off of them and to fix the admirals and the colonels and the generals. If you guys want to do that, do that. I don't feel like we should have to buy more from Lego to fix their mistakes. So for all the comments in my section about the set sucking for $1,000 because of the minifigures, I see you. The stickers, on the other hand, again, there's cheaper sets from Mattel with the Brick Shop, for instance, that I have hands-on experience with, that puts everything printed. I don't know why. Lego could not have done the same. They did the pill lights in the set, but they didn't do all the control panels. I don't know if they don't want all of these particular tiles and stuff to be special tiles that I don't know what their logic would be to why they wouldn't want that part to be made with that special print. But the stickers, I can see it from both angles. It's easier to manage the size of the set with packing and production and everything without the prints. If you print the pieces, they become their own piece because now they have a print on them, and that can make it harder for the robots and the production and all that crap to do their job. If you guys watched the last video, you guys know in 2 of the bags, separate bags, I was missing R2-D2's leg, and I was missing a clip joint for the meditation chamber in my set. So obviously a set with over 30 bags, Lego cannot even get that right. I've seen on Reddit now somebody building a Death Star. I think they were on bag 44, and they had Gwen's torso from the Spider-Man CMF series instead of one of the admirals, colonels, or whatever the hell it was that came in that bag. So the robots can't even keep up, let alone expecting them to keep up with extra pieces now with these prints. It would be nice to have these prints. And maybe this robot thing that I'm making up in my head, this is not research, is one of the limitations. But the thing with the limitations is simple. If their limitations are because they have so many products and so many lineups, maybe They need to stop making so much damn stuff. Yeah, I said that. Maybe they need to take a little bit of a chill pill, kind of like Taylor Swift. She does need to put out an album every single year because this last one, what the hell happened with the lyrics? Lego, if your limitations are because you have too much stuff, you're watering down your current products and hurting us fans that want to buy these products. You're charging us more and you're watering it down, like with Taylor Swift's new album and her marketing for it. And it's not as good as what we've gotten before and what we come to expect. Somebody commented, Lego says only the best is good enough. And you know what? For $1,000, we should get that. Lastly, the whole thing about people commenting and say that this set is a scam. Again, guys, every single one of these major companies, we can accuse them of scams. Why are we going to do it to just Lego? We should be doing it to all the big companies that are taking things away and charging us more. Isn't that a scam? So again, we don't need to be calling Lego a scam. It's not fair. And really quick, before we get into this TIE Fighter, let me just go back through and let me see if there's any new comments on the last video to finish off this. And no, there is no more arguments to be made. So I think I covered everything. Probably not. Again, this is a 9,000 piece set with a lot of opinions, so not going to make everybody happy. Yep, and with that, guys, we are good to talk about the last bit of the crappy part of the Death Star. The last crappy thing about this set is this GWP. Again, this created FOMO, fear of missing out, because if you didn't get this with the set within the first week, you're now going to have to buy this set and probably buy this separately on eBay for about $150. I think last time I checked, I did not check before recording this video, but the prices of this are going down. And since they are going down, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the review on this. Now, I already went over this box in 2 videos ago about the Death Star when we were unboxing the Death Star, because I thought at that time I was just going to keep this new in box. Now it's been about a week and a half and I'm like, you know what, screw it, let's throw it into the Death Star because the Death Star looks so sparse. I guess that's another point about the Death Star I wanted to make. It needs more minifigures for all of the rooms. It is way too big and it looks like a desert ghost town in some areas. So with this, at least we get 3 more minifigures, and we get that hanger rack with the tie. So this is clearly a playstyle box. We can see that with the Greebolt corner, the set hanging in there. We can see our 3 minifigures. We have some type of transport rack going on there. And again, the TIE Fighter's imposed, and it's what we would expect. It kind of looks like a 4 and older TIE Fighter, but this is a 10 and older set. Clearly up here at the top it says combined with 75419, the Death Star. And continuing to take a look around the box, again, just more angles of it right there. On this side of the box we have our Do Not Eat It, and again in different languages. This is meant to be combined with the Death Star. Up here at the top we have our country of origin and a 1-to-1 of one of the TIE pilots. Then at the bottom, we have our recycling information, Legal Eagles barcode, all of that good stuff. And then on the back of the box, there's no dimensions or anything. It shows the TIE Fighter floating through space. It shows how we have to literally take apart the front. It has a couple snot bricks it latches into to swap out your minifigure. And it also shows some of the minifigures doing work around the Death Star. Not all that exciting, guys. Let's go ahead and let's open up this box. So, okay, we got our knife. We're going to have 2 pieces of tape open on this box. There we go, 1 and 2. I am noticing on a second look that my box is actually crushed. So that right there ruins my $140, $150 value. I actually did just check the value of this kit before cutting it open. And some people are down as low as $130 on this kit. So if you bought this on day 1 and you put it on eBay, well, congratulations, you probably made a lot of money. It's kind of funny because I'm comparing this whole Death Star fiasco to Taylor Swift and her latest album fiasco, when I intentionally bought Taylor Swift's album, the vinyl variant, midnight, woke up the next day, put it on eBay, and I took a $35 album that is not all that good and sold it for $80. So if you were able to do something similar with this, will you get this for free with your set, sell it for 190? Congratulations, you are as lucky as I was, because this set is clearly just as dull as Taylor Swift's new album. So now let's do our pour. So I can see here we're gonna have 3 bags total. We got 1, 2, and 3. We do have another little baggie with some hoses and some plates. Looks like 4x12s. And again, this is a 236 piece set. We don't have any barcode on our instructions. Again, why would we? This is a GWP set. Now, on the LEGO website, they did say that this set is about $34.99 retail value. Opening up our instructions, it goes straight into page number 3 with the actual build, so nothing special there. And then going to the back of the little bent up booklet here, we have about 79 pages total, and just kind of shows us how things are working by page 78. But we're going to have 52 steps in total to get this thing built, and 77 steps. So let's go ahead, let's get this thing built, and then we're going to do a review on it. Then we're going to showcase it inside of the Death Star, which is now permanently stored over on my shelf in my living room. And then we'll wrap it up and we'll be done with this video. So I'm going to get to work, and well, here's the review of it right now. Okay, everybody, let's dive into the review of 40771 TIE Fighter with Imperial Rack. We will make our way into the TIE Fighter in just a second. The Imperial Hangar Rack, and here it is. And you know what? It's Technic beams like we would think. And that's just about it. I think this is going to be the most Technic in this set because the UCS Death Star is mostly system brick. The Hangar Rack works pretty much just by getting stuck into the UCS Death Star at this point. I will show you that later on. And it does hold the TIE Fighter with these 2 little prongs right here. Something along the lines of that. And, well, it's pretty much that simple. We do have these little rope elements to look like hydraulic cables, which is a nice touch. Overall, it's a pretty basic partial structured thingamajig. Next up, we have our Stormtroopers. Nothing to really report here. These are just like the ones you get inside of the set. Front torso print, back torso print, leg print. They have their weapons. We do have 2 different skin tones and 2 different genders. Pretty basic stuff. And then we do move on to a TIE Fighter pilot, which again looks exactly what we would expect with torso print, front, back, a weapon, and of course leg print, and his headpiece looks just like that. And then using him to transition into this TIE Fighter opens up just like that with these 2 little snot bricks, like I said. And our guy does go into here. I'm going to guess we have to remove the weapon. And that's our TIE Fighter, nice and cozy, kind of like in a coffin. And he's covered up, and you don't see him no more. That's one of the mid things about this build. Let's go ahead, let's break him back out. There we go. Now taking a look inside of the TIE Fighter, there is a little bit of greebling with these little quarter pie slices on each side. There is 2 of those, but other than that, it's just a little bit of red to break up the light bluish gray, and it's basic. Because of the snot brick technique, you can easily pop out the back, and you guys can see how basic of a build this is. Really basic. I mean, it is a GWP after all. So that's the back, that's the front. We do have this little handlebar piece for our weapon shooters. We do have a printed windscreen on this. Other than that, it's made up of domes and round plates. We do have our little angled slopes to kind of make that angled round bit. We do have a lot of negative studs on this. These side wings are held in with this piece just like that. There is not a lot to this TIE Fighter. My number 1 complaint, besides the fact you can't see the minifigure inside of it, is no Imperial logo on the side of that TIE Fighter. There should be an Imperial logo here. That would make the most amount of sense. But looking at the side of the wing here, we do have these radiator grills, 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. We do have friction pins on these little 1x1 elements to add greebling, as well as these lightsaber rods in light bluish gray. With that, guys, there is not much more to do than to take our little TIE Fighter over to the Death Star. Okay, so we're going to start off with our hangar rack. Now let's take it over to the Death Star. So here is the final resting place to my UCS Death Star, and I thought my Thomas Kincaid print of Obi-Wan's last stand would be perfectly appropriate right above it. I think that's an awesome touch. So I do have a little bit of a light to show you guys where we're going to go with this. Try to get my fat butt out of the light. There is supposed to be some friction pins hiding out on a little Technic hole right there. I can see it. And this is supposed to go into those holes. Kind of hard to see here because everything's black on black. And that is what she looks like when she's all put into place. Now, let's go get our TIE Fighter and minifigure. Now, here's what I'm going to be doing with this. So these two Stormtroopers came with my set. So I'm now going to take them and I'm going to put them someplace else in the Death Star. Okay, he's moved. Now, where to put this guy? Where to go? So many spaces. So I think I'm going to take him and I'm going to put him right up here as kind of as a hint to, well, what's hiding on the other side, which is the hot tub Stormtrooper. So now that those two guys are removed from down here, and I'm going to put these guys here. And the reason for this is now everything that this is in one general location. So if I ever want to separate these, I know the guy on the cart, the guy next to it, is the guys that go to that set. And our TIE Fighter pilot is no different. We're going to hide him in here, maybe coming kind of out of the elevator shaft, ready to make his ride. So there we go. And lastly, the only thing left we have to do is to put our TIE Fighter in. Make sure everything looks all good. And there we go, guys. The Death Star with the TIE Fighter, GWP. Let's wrap up this video. So just in case you guys thought the minifigures was as bad as it was going to get with the Death Star, no, the FOMO-backed GWP is probably the tip of the iceberg. Still, it's not fair to call it a scam set because all these companies do a similar thing, as I've said so many times in this video. But the simplicity of this set is just ridiculous. I was kind of hoping for something more along the lines of the Imperial shuttle we got in the UCS Death Star, but this is almost at the Age 4 level. And my biggest complaint isn't necessarily the Age 4 level building of this set. It is honestly, why the hell do we not have the little printed Imperial logos on the side of those TIE Fighter wings? That's a mandatory. And just in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, when I'm pretty sure you do, not the Imperial logo, but a print nonetheless on the side of our last TIE Fighter that we ever got. It just looks good with a print in the middle. Don't know why they didn't do that. But anyway, guys, there's nothing to recommend because there's no way in hell I'm going to recommend this set. You either got it day one or you're buying it on eBay, and there's no way I'm going to ever suggest paying scalpers prices. You're either the scalpee or you're the scalper. And well, if you're a scalper and you're getting paid, well, congratulations on your entrepreneurial endeavors of getting in on people's FOMO and making money on it. Kind of like how I did with that Taylor Swift record. I feel ya. Sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. But just in case you guys didn't really know too much about this, well, here's the review video about it. And if you guys did buy it and you guys did build it, well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that, guys, that concludes our Death Star saga. I am relieved. I knew that the month of October was not going to be all that much stuff, well, only one major set release and a couple small ones. And I knew that in order to make sense out of buying this Death Star for my channel, I was really going to have to make content. And for all of you guys that watched it, the thousands of views, all the comments, I just want to say thank you so much for your support. And thank you so much for your comments, whether they weren't kind or they were kind. I appreciate every single one of you guys that takes time to watch my videos. When it comes down to $1,000 set and seeing more than 60 to 100 people watch my individual videos building up to the finale of this set, it means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much for watching this video series and my videos in general. If you guys like videos like this, please hit the subscribe button to follow along with everything that we do here. As usual, share this video with a friend, hit the thumbs up, the like button, and once again, please leave your comments down below. Up next on the YouTube channel, well guys, I'm going to show you, because I have waited a month to get to this set. Actually, I think longer than a month. And I think my anticipation and excitement to build this set is higher than it actually was of the Death Star. So it's been painful to hold on to this set. You guys may think it's mid, you guys may think it's overpriced, but I think this Death Star overshadows all of those thoughts. And our next build is going to be, finally guys, the Battle of Felucia, or however you say it, this Separatist MTT. I am so excited to be back with this type of Lego Star Wars after this month of this UCS stuff. Whew. So be sure to check out that next video. I am super excited to rip that bad boy open and review it for you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. You all have a good one.